Give me your price target for the longer term with Bitcoin, because right now at about 63,000, where do you see it going?
We are at peak FUD and max pain in the crypto market. Traditional markets are tanking. Gold is performing like we're at war. You know what the experts say about times like this. Look how scared the mainstream media is.
Amid the market sell-off, the world's two most popular cryptocurrencies are stumbling backwards at this hour. After surpassing 70,000 3 days ago, Bitcoin has seen more than 7,000 of that vaporized and right now is standing at $63,094. Ethereum, well, that one's shriveling by about $120 or 3.7% to 3108. That means that the recently launched ETFs, the exchange-traded funds that track the spot price of Ether, that includes the Grayscale ETF, Franklin Templeton, Invesco, BlackRock, they're all in the red. VanEck Ether ETF, ticker ETHV, is down about 11% since July 3rd launch. You were the first to apply for the Ether ETF, first to apply for the spot Bitcoin ETF. First of all, Ether not doing well since the launch compared to how Bitcoin had done. What are the inflows launched to date for your ETF fund?
I think they're net negative for the industry, and I think we're sort of in the 100 ballpark as far as inflows are concerned. So nothing like Bitcoin. I mean, the Bitcoin ETFs were the most successful product launch almost in ETF history. So, which is fair though, because I like to balance the Ethereum story. There's positive and negatives about it, and investors should know both.
Which do you like better, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
What's your
I'm a gold
price?
guy.
Okay.
I'm a gold guy.
Look, guys, in my opinion, this is a buy the dip opportunity, as most people don't realize what's going on. I like how this strategist at Susquehanna explains this. He is an expert on this. I think this is exactly right. Listen.
So what is Wall Street's so-called fear index telling us about where the market is headed next? Chris Murphy is co-head of derivative strategy at Susquehanna, and he's here to discuss. Chris, the floor is yours. Do tell.
Sure. I mean, like you said, highest close in over a year. One thing that we also look at is actually two things that we look at. Term, structure, inversion. All that really means is the very near term fear and panic is elevated compared to the medium and longer term. And that's often a sign to us that much of the stress is being priced into the here and now. And believe it or not, when we see something like that happen, typically, 80, 90% of the time, a month later, the S&P's higher because it's kind of telling you a lot of panic has hit all at once.
Wow. Let's just let me make sure so when it's inverted like it is right now and it jumps very quickly in one day, you say you're looking at it now and it's actually a bullish sign.
Well, 9 times out of 10. So now you have to ask yourself, are we in COVID or the great financial crisis or one of those other, 1 out of 10 type scenarios? Or are we in a situation where positioning got really offsides? There's definitely some near-term pain in a lot of the most crowded positions. But is this a longer-term, systemic thing? I mean, we were all kind of waiting for rate hikes to start to slow the job market. It took a little bit longer than expected, which allowed these positions to build up much more offside. So, we might see some more near-term pain in the unwinding of those positions, and we saw some signs that might be the case, but it doesn't seem like a longer-term unknown from my vantage point.
You say buy the dip has been working all year, and investors are positioning as if this week will be no different.
And then this is where it gets interesting. Look, guys, as investors, you need to have long-term mindsets. What if Amazon bulls would have sold their Amazon stock in like early 2000s just because the market was too volatile for them? You need to see the bigger transformation happening here. VanEck CEO just gave a crazy Bitcoin prediction. So do you think he's right about this? Do you think he's being straightforward with his prediction here? You tell me.
Give me your price target for the longer term with Bitcoin, because right now at about 63,000, where do you see it going?
Right. So about a year ago, I started pounding the table because eventually the Fed is going to start easing here. That's great for gold and that's for Bitcoin. What I said is Bitcoin is growing up and will be eventually half the total market cap of gold. So that's about 350,000. So quite a ways to go from here. The super bulls, if central banks adopt it and it's part of the monetary system, then in the millions, but I don't like to talk about that too much.
What, more than 2 million? More than 3?
Yeah, like 2.9, we've got some model, which is, you have to look at the assumptions.
Right. Well, yeah, there are always big ifs there.
Yeah.
Where do you put your personal money right now?
I like longer term trends because I feel like, okay, it'll be a bumpy ride, but I like to have conviction about something that's going to happen in 5 or 10 years. To me, there's no doubt that Bitcoin is becoming adopted the way gold is. I just think it's obvious. Now, I think you have to have your own diversified portfolio, and kind of having a huge overweight to Bitcoin is a personal decision, but I just see that rising. I'll give you another example, India. The Indian economy is the best macro story. Everyone says the stocks are overvalued. I get it, but it's doubtless the Indian equities have done as well as U.S. equities over the last 10 years and will continue to do well. But he was a gold bug. So, yeah.
Of course, the founder of VanEck. So you get to take over the business, and congratulations, you've been doing well. You've got $100 billion in assets under management now. Thanks, Jan.
Look, guys, with Morgan Stanley being one of the first wirehouses to approve Bitcoin sales to their clients, this is significant. I don't believe the market is pricing this in yet or thinking what this means. Morgan Stanley just became the first major bank to approve Bitcoin via ETFs for sale to their clients. This will probably happen with Ethereum in 6 months, but with Morgan Stanley now on board, and they're just the first wirehouse, we're going to see more. It's important to remember why this is such a big deal. Cathie Wood's ARK Invest predicted this would happen about 6 months ago. Listen.
Bitcoin, congrats on your ETF. It's done very well. You're number 3 now.
Number 3. This was David against Goliath. And, so this is a very nice win for us. Now, we're not finished. And in fact, in our business, what's interesting is the wirehouses, which dominate our customers. So Morgan Stanley, all the advisors at these wirehouses, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch at B of A, Wells Fargo, not one of them has approved Bitcoin on its platform. That hasn't even happened yet. And those are our primary clients. When that happens, wait until you see.
Explosion.
And of course, past performance does not equal future result. But when the market dips, I tend to rewatch this video. I don't know if you've rewatched this video lately. Don't buy Bitcoin.
This one time, Bitcoin went from 6 cents all the way to 36 cents, and then it crashed down to 21 cents. And then another time, Bitcoin went from 85 cents all the way to $29, and then it crashed to $3. And then another time, Bitcoin went all the way to $213, and then it crashed all the way to $70. And then another time, Bitcoin went all the way to $1,100, and then it crashed all the way to $239. So the moral of the story is, don't buy Bitcoin, because it's going to crash again.
So, can Bitcoin get over 1 million? Can Bitcoin get to 2.9 million by 2050? This is the question. Let's engage in the YouTube comments, but let's also engage on Roundtable app, which is a bot-free way to engage with some of your favorite creators. So this is the post I just posted. Look forward to seeing your comments. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. I personally think in September, Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. Anything can happen though. The crypto market is definitely exciting. Let me know what you're doing. See you tomorrow, my friends.